Security has the authority to end the TPS program. He doesn't believe federal agents will begin sweeping people off the streets, but more likely, immigration authorities may suspend or end work authorization for some people and perhaps notify employers about the change.
My understanding is their focus is on criminal individuals. Certainly there will be an impact immediately in terms of work authorization.
Now, we don't have a timeline, but Hussein says today's action gives the Department of Homeland Security the green light to begin eliminating the TPS program, even if there are legal challenges, Kevin.
Okay. Yeah, and here's the thing. TPS is 18 months. That's it. I don't know how the Haitians got to stay here for 16 years on an 18-month program, because by the 19th month, you're technically here illegally. Not even technically, you're here illegally. And so they're ending the TPS program for Somalis, period. Get off the soil. Bye. You can't stay here. And here's the thing. TPS is not a transition to citizenship. You can't use it. You have to go back to your home country and apply for citizenship to come back. Look, I'm going to tell you again. TPS is not a pathway. You cannot apply for legal permanent residency. You cannot apply for a green card. You cannot apply for a visa, period. The only people who were given and extended that were people who were asylum seekers and people who were refugees. That's it. And their stuff is being shut down too, which I'm glad about because it's been abused. Shut it down. Shut down the whole TPS program. Shut it down. I like it. And DHS has every right to shut this down. It's out of control. People are taking advantage of it. They're not upholding their end because it says in there it's 18 months. You got to go, period. Let's stay here. It's nonsense. Anyway, the next one we want to get to is there was a lawmaker talking about the SAVE Act, and he is from New Jersey.
Well, the heat is still on the Senate, despite senators being home on summer recess. President Trump continues to eye voter ID as his top legislative priority. The Save America Act is stalled in the Senate, and House Speaker Mike Johnson wants to help the president bring it over the finish line.
In New Jersey a few weeks back, remember, they voluntarily told us they found 6,600 non-citizens registered to vote in that state. So this is a serious problem. Election integrity is a top priority and issue for the president. The last version we sent over on a budget resolution for a reconciliation bill to the Senate, and I'm very hopeful they'll process that very quickly because we added election integrity, the Save America Act, with some funding for troops and farmers. I don't think anybody who has common sense can vote against that.
Let's bring in New Jersey Republican Congressman Jeff Van Drew, a member of the House Judiciary Committee. So the roadblock seems to be not in the House, but in the Senate. What are the chances, you think, that the SAVE Act ultimately does get passed?
It's going to be hard, but we're really going to push for it. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, it is simplistic, but true to say, if you are voting in an American election, you should be an American. There's nothing complicated about that. Then we've been told for years, well, there are no non-Americans that are voting in our elections. And of course, we see that there were 6,600 that willfully, openly admitted it. We don't know how many people lied. We've got to dig into that. Maybe, you know, John, we can talk about that a little bit in a minute, what we're doing on the House side, what I'm doing in my committee, and how we want to proceed forward. But it is.
Yeah. So this is a problem. This is the whole issue. But I wanted to pull something up really quick for you guys. Because, of course, while I was away, I was, I did a little bit of compiling some stuff. But, the SAVE Act is a big deal. And in my opinion, the issue that the Democratic Party specifically keeps coming back to, they keep trying to use married women, number one, and they also keep trying to use Black people, right? They're always trying to use us. Like, why are you using us? Like, stop, get off my lawn. I'm over it. Get off my lawn, right? So I went to Grok, actually, and I was like, there are some common documents that you need to have when you're getting certain things, a driver's license, a state ID, or a bank account, right? You need certain documents. And so I looked into it and I said, can you tell me what you need to give? Driver's license, state identification, or bank account. So for an ID or driver's license, and we're just using Georgia as an example, you need a birth certificate, right? Or from the Bureau of Vital Statistics or equivalent, not a hospital copy, because some people get their, it's called a certificate of birth, right? And it might be like a little small one. They're talking about the official document. It's like an 8x10 document of your U.S. birth certificate. An unexpired U.S. passport or passport card, that's one of the options you can use. An official counselor report of birth abroad, which are these documents in FS 240, FS 545, DS 1350, or a certificate of naturalization, right? Or a certificate of citizenship, certified copy. So any one of these proofs of documentation in the state of Georgia allows you can use it to get a driver's license. These are one of the documents. This is a proof of identity. Then you have to have proof of a social security number. Your original social, W-2, 1099, showing your name and your social, which that's kind of wonky. A pay stub showing, that's still wonky, or other SSA documents, tax returns, or certain benefit letters that show your phone number. And that's weird, in my opinion. If you have a social security number, I don't care if you lost it, you can get one. And you can get a receipt from the Social Security office. See, to me, this, like the W-2 and the pay stub, because you can always lie on that. And nobody's really, they're not checking at the DMV. You just got to show them to them. That's very wonky. Georgia, you need to fix that. You need to tighten it up. Completely tighten it up. If it's not a Social Security card, it's not acceptable, period. And you're not getting a state ID, and you're not getting a driver's license, period. So it says other SSA documents, tax return, or certain benefit letters that show the full number. In my opinion, you need to have a receipt from the Social Security office, not something that people can fraudulently, produce, because there's that too. Yeah, there's got to be a mechanism for the people at the DMV to check and validate that Social Security number, put it in the system, and make sure these people are who they say they are. And if it's not, then they can't get the driver's license. They cannot get a state ID. Period. Now, a lot of people think, well, that's kind of harsh. No, it's not. It's not harsh at all. Not at all. Or you've got to have proof of residency, right? 2 documents, utility bill, bank, credit card, or other financial statements. That's interesting. You can use that, right? Okay, so let's moving along. To open up a bank account, you need a driver's license, right? Or state ID. You need a Social Security number, okay? And you need personal information, full name, date of birth, right? Proof of address, initial deposit. So there's some similar documents that you need to open up a bank account that are very similar to an ID or a driver's license. Interesting, right? So additional items may be required depending on the bank. For non-citizens, a passport, immigration documents, for business accounts, EIN, and formation documents, right? But again, like I was saying, I was trying to tie it in. So I said, can you tell me the document that these all have in common? So here's the documents that they all have in common. You all need to have a passport or a birth certificate, all of them. So this whole argument, people are not going to be able to apply for the SAVE Act because they don't have a birth. If you have a driver's license, you already have your birth certificate. If you have a state ID, I'm just talking about Georgia, you have a birth certificate. So this argument, it falls apart. It falls apart. And it says, once you have your driver's license and state ID, that government issued ID is the primary document that banks accept. So you need to have it. You need it. This is weird, okay? And the social security number, proof of residency, they all have that in common, okay? So here we go. So then I was like, so which of these documents would be required by the SAVE Act if it's passed? Okay, so here's the documents. A valid passport, that's one, fully accepted as proof of citizenship, that's one way. Or a birth certificate, that's another way. The driver's license, that's another way. Real ID. Now, social security card, it's not accepted as proof of citizenship, but it is one of the documents that they do require. And they don't require utility bills. That's not even relevant, right? But these three, you should be able to show. Now, the other thing they've been saying is, oh, women.